A short video has been going viral across social media. It shows a single penguin doing something that seems impossible. While thousands of others head toward the ocean, the only place where they can survive, one suddenly turns away and begins walking deeper into Antarctica, toward an endless world of ice, toward almost certain death. Millions have watched the clip. Some believe it's a story of loneliness. Others think it's depression. But what if the truth is far stranger? Because this isn't just a viral video, it's one of the most haunting wildlife mysteries ever captured on camera. For millions of years, penguins have survived one of the harshest places on Earth by following a single rule: never leave the colony. In Antarctica, that isn't just instinct. It's the difference between life and death. Because everything a penguin needs lies in one dangerous place: the Southern Ocean. Beneath its icy surface are the fish, krill, and squid that keep them alive. But every hunt comes with a deadly risk. Leopard seals wait beneath the ice, orcas patrol the coastline. One mistake, and a penguin never returns. Yet somehow, the ocean is still safer than facing Antarctica alone. On land, temperatures can plunge below -60 degrees Celsius, -76 degrees Fahrenheit, while relentless winds strip away body heat with terrifying speed. Out here, isolation isn't freedom. It's a slow death. That's why penguins almost never survive on their own. They travel together. They raise their chicks together. When blizzards arrive, thousands pack tightly into giant huddles, constantly rotating so every bird gets a chance to warm up in the center. For millions of years, this simple strategy has kept entire colonies alive, and if that wasn't remarkable enough, their sense of direction may be even more extraordinary. After traveling dozens, even hundreds of kilometers across an endless white wilderness with almost no obvious landmarks, they can still return to the exact colony they left behind. Scientists believe they navigate using the sun's position, familiar features in the landscape, and even Earth's magnetic field. A biological navigation system so precise that getting lost should be incredibly rare, which makes one piece of viral footage almost impossible to explain. The penguin wasn't moving toward food. It wasn't heading back to its colony. It was walking deeper into Antarctica, away from warmth, away from safety, away from the only survival system evolution had spent millions of years perfecting. So if penguins are built to stay together, if their instincts can guide them across one of the most unforgiving environments on Earth, what could possibly make one walk away from everything that was keeping it alive? The penguin in the viral video wasn't an emperor penguin. It belonged to a very different species, the Adélie penguin. Smaller, faster, and far more restless, Adélies are among Antarctica's most energetic residents. They spend much of their lives in crowded colonies, where thousands of birds nest side by side in a constant blur of movement, calls, and activity. Unlike emperor penguins, which endure long journeys across the frozen interior, Adélies stay much closer to the coastline. That keeps them within reach of the Southern Ocean, the source of almost every meal they'll ever eat. But even here, survival is a competition. Antarctica offers almost no nesting material. There are no trees, no grass, and no twigs, only stones. To us, they're just ordinary rocks. To an Adélie penguin, they're the foundation of an entire future. Each carefully placed pebble lifts the eggs above melting snow and freezing water, giving newly hatched chicks a better chance to survive. The better the nest, the better the odds. That's why these birds have developed one of Antarctica's strangest habits. Instead of searching endlessly for new stones, many simply steal them. Researchers have watched Adélie penguins quietly sneak into a neighbor's nest, snatch a pebble the moment its owner looks away, and hurry back before they're caught. Sometimes the theft sparks noisy chases and fierce battles over a single rock, a reminder that in Antarctica, even the smallest resource can be worth fighting for. It may seem amusing, but it reveals something much deeper. Adélie penguins are intensely social animals. They recognize their partners by voice, return to familiar breeding colonies year after year, and rely on the presence of thousands of other penguins to successfully raise the next generation, which is exactly what makes the viral footage so unsettling. A bird whose entire life revolves around its colony, suddenly leaving it behind, not searching for food, not following the others, just walking, alone. If evolution spent millions of years teaching the species to stay together, What could possibly make one ignore the very instinct that kept its ancestors alive? For an animal trying to survive Antarctica, getting lost isn't just dangerous. It's almost always a death sentence. That's why penguins have evolved one of the most extraordinary navigation systems on Earth. Every year, they leave the safety of their colonies, disappear into the vast southern ocean, and somehow find their way back to the exact place they started. Across an endless landscape of ice and water that looks almost identical in every direction, they rarely lose their way. Scientists believe they achieve this by combining several natural guides. They track the sun's position, recognize familiar features along the coastline, and many researchers believe they can even sense Earth's magnetic field, using the planet itself as a living compass. For almost every penguin, it works perfectly. But evolution never creates a system that can never fail. Just as the human brain can be affected by illness or injury, the brains of wild animals can too. Disease, parasites, head trauma, or extreme stress can interfere with the way the brain processes information. An animal may believe it's heading exactly where it should, when it's actually walking toward disaster. Scientists have documented similar tragedies throughout nature. Whales have stranded themselves on empty beaches. Migrating birds have flown hundreds of miles off course. Sea turtles have become disoriented and lost their way across the open ocean. Could the viral penguin have suffered the same fate? Many researchers believe it's one of the most likely explanations. Its internal navigation system may have malfunctioned, causing the signals that normally guide it back toward the sea to point somewhere else entirely. Instead of recognizing the ocean as its destination, it walked with complete confidence into an endless wilderness of ice. But here's what makes this story impossible to forget. No one actually knows. The penguin was never captured, never examined, never tracked. Without medical evidence, no scientist can say with certainty why it turned away from the colony. Every explanation, including this one, remains a carefully informed hypothesis, not a proven fact. And perhaps that's the real reason this footage still captivates millions of people around the world. Not because we know what happened, but because we never will. Some mysteries aren't solved. They simply disappear into the ice, along with the lonely penguin that inspired them. Maybe that's why this story still refuses to fade away. Not because we finally found the answer, but because we never did. When millions of people watched the viral footage, they couldn't help seeing something deeply human. Some believed the penguin was lonely, others thought it was grieving. Many even wondered if it was experiencing something like depression. It's an understandable reaction. Our brains are wired to recognize emotions we already know, even in the wild. And penguins can sometimes behave in ways that make those comparisons feel surprisingly real. Scientists have watched penguin parents remain beside a chick that has died, calling out again and again instead of walking away. Others have documented adults trying to protect or care for chicks that weren't their own after losing a nest. Moments like these are undeniably moving, but they don't prove penguins experience emotions exactly as we do. Their minds remain one of science's greatest mysteries, and researchers are careful not to claim more than the evidence allows. Perhaps that's the most remarkable thing about nature. The closer we look, the more mystery we find. As for the penguin in the viral video, its story most likely ended somewhere beyond the edge of the camera's view, past the colonies, past the coastline, into hundreds of miles of frozen wilderness where there is no food, no open water, and almost no chance of survival for a penguin alone. Eventually, it disappeared into the endless white, and with it, the answer. Maybe the real lesson was never about discovering why one penguin walked away. Maybe it's about accepting that nature doesn't always give us the explanations we want. Sometimes it leaves behind a mystery, one that challenges everything we think we know about instinct, intelligence, and even ourselves. Because in the end, the most unforgettable part of that viral video wasn't a penguin walking across the Antarctic ice. It was a single unanswered question, one that millions of people are still asking today. If you're fascinated by the incredible mysteries hidden within science and the natural world, subscribe for more documentaries, because the next mystery may be even more unbelievable than this one.